Bill, as we look at the market right now, off 514 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you saw the European markets, you saw what happened overnight in Asia. People are looking for safe havens. People are looking for a place to put their money that's not going to get hit. Is it going to come back to treasuries, gold? What do you think?
Well, high-quality sovereigns, treasuries, UK gilts, German bunds, they basically don't yield anything. So it's hard to recommend that. It's safe, but it's not really a haven because it doesn't provide any return. I think an investor has to look at what I've advocated, I think, with you before, a closed-end fund portfolio that borrows money at these low interest rates at 50 basis points or 1% and reinvest it with a mild amount of leverage to produce 6, 7, or 8%. I'd recommend, for instance, and I have before, a closed-end fund called BlackRock Build America. BAB is the symbol, Build America. Infrastructure. It's 40% guaranteed, quote unquote, by the U.S. government. It's pretty safe. It yields about 6.5%. It's a better deal than a U.S. Treasury at 1.5%. So the investor needs more than one, more than zero, but they don't want to take a lot of risk. And I think there are alternatives in closed-end funds, and that's one example.
Bill, is the U.S. economy going to suffer as a result of this?
Well, I think it won't be promoted. Growth won't benefit from this, but I think ultimately it may. Here's a long-term point to consider. The capitalism depends upon consumers. We know that. Without consumption, you don't have profits and you don't have sales. And consumers basically come from the middle class and the wage-earning public, and so we need a vibrant and healthy balance between profits and wages. And yes, to the extent that some of these alternatives that are being proposed, as we've seen last night, promote wages as opposed to profits, it's a negative in the short run. That's why you see the Dow down 500 points. But over the long term, to the extent that there's a balance and that consumers actually have some money to spend going forward, I think it's a long-term positive if it doesn't go too far.
So that's healthy. You think what the UK did was healthy for the UK, and if we do something similar, it would be healthy for us? In that we put a priority, say, on better trade agreements, stricter border control?
I think so. I don't know about the entire agenda. The border controls bothers me to some extent, but there is no doubt, to my way of thinking, that NAFTA, back in the 1990s, heralded as a solution for growth, not just for Mexico, but for the United States. It's come at a high cost for middle America in terms of their wages and in terms of their jobs. And so, we have to question each and every policy, I think Trump would say this, and negotiate hard so that they benefit the United States as opposed to, the global franchise. Very quickly,
I'm told we're going to lose your satellite window, but would you support Donald Trump, Bill?
Yeah, if he calms down, if he tempers his enthusiasm, I'd support him. At the moment, he appears to be doing that for the last few days, but he's got to show some stability, and he's got to be an adult as a teenager.
And if he can do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got some points. He represents, the movement that we saw last night, and to the extent that that's going to be a positive in the short term, perhaps not. But I think ultimately some of his policies could be a positive in the long term.
Bill Gross, fascinating discussion with you, sir. Thank you, as always.
Thank you.